Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Empire Season 4, Episode 7, and the name of this episode is The Lady Doth Protest. Yo, this was a really fire-ass episode. I was so here for this one. But before I get started, let me offer my love and condolences to everyone that was affected by the tragedy in Texas as well as Las Vegas. Also, the people that were affected by the hurricanes Harvey, Irma, Jose, and Maria. So, if you can give any kind of relief or support to people that were affected by these tragedies, please do so, because we definitely need to help out our fellow man in times of trouble. Now, let me begin with this review, because I'm going to try my best not to be for you long, but, bear with me if it does get a little long, because so much happened. But I'm going to try to condense it as much as I can. Okay. The episode opens up, we see that Lucious is... we actually now realize that Lucious has got some of his memory back, but he's not fully back to being Lucious Lyons. But he has made some progress. And we see that he's still doing his thing with colors. He's still seeing colors, when it comes to music. Jamal is playing on the piano, and he sees green, but he's saying that I need to see some yellow. So we see that, and we see that Warren is in on this too. So Warren is there, and they're both working with him on the art as well as the music. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Then we get a scene, Angelo and Anika are in the park with Bella, and this lady comes up and says, "Oh, you have a beautiful little girl. What's her name?" She's like, "It's Bella." It's like, "Oh, she has her daddy's eyes." And next thing you know, we see that Hakeem is actually literally watching them in the park, and he's about to run up on him until Thirsty pulls him off, and he's like, "Yo, Thirsty, what the hell are you doing?" He said, "Dude, I'm trying to prevent you from, I'm trying to prevent you from making a mistake and landing yourself in jail. What the hell are you doing stalking them?" He's like, "I'm not stalking them, I'm watching Bella." And he's like, "Look, we're gonna get her back, but the rate you going, you're gonna fuck yourself up. So let's get the hell up out of here before the cops see two black men and want to kill us. Let's go." I'm like, Thirsty was not playing with that. So then we get a scene which really pretty much is like one of the clips of this episode. Tori is in the studio singing, and she's working with Eddie. And we're starting to see, Eddie take his position in the Empire. And Eddie has had them in the studio all night, non-stop. And we see that Becky's there, as well as the engineer, Calvin, and Portia's there. And, Troy's singing, and, he's trying to tell the engineer to make some changes as far as the sound. He makes the change, but then Eddie gets mad because, no, you're doing it too much. What the hell? I told you this and told you that. And, the dude Calvin's like, "Look, I'm sorry, but I'm just tired. You literally had us in here all night. We don't even know what the hell you want." And he's like, "Look, we're going to keep working at this until we get it. And that's what we have to do, because this 20 for 20 is a serious, is pretty much, a game changer for Empire, and we don't have time for sleep. We don't have time for any shortcomings. We need to bring our A." So this causes a big explosion, as far as an argument between Calvin and Eddie, and then Becky's saying that, "Look, we need time to sleep. We have literally been at this all night." And Calvin's like, "Look, we don't even know what the hell you want, and you got us up in here like this. This is crazy." So after that, Troy was like, "Look, I am a little parched, and I do, need, to rest my voice." So he says, "Okay, I'll give y'all 15, order some breakfast." Damn, Becky was like, "The hell with breakfast, we need sleep." So then we actually see Calvin talks to Portia. We come to find out that Calvin and Portia are actually a couple. So I'm like, oh, Portia got her a man, and Portia had the hair out and everything. And I'm actually liking Portia's new look. I mean, she looks like she's like a business, she's working in corporate America. And it's been a major shift from when we first met Portia. I mean, Portia is definitely doing big things. But, you know, Calvin is like, you know what? I'm over this bullshit. This asshole got us in the damn studio and, you know, all night and shit. Like, what's up with that? And, you know, she's like, hey, Lucious has done it. She's like, no, but the thing is, Lucious worked hard, but then again, Lucious is family. I don't know fucking Eddie, and Eddie's coming up in here, you know, doing all this shit, and we're not communicating, and, you know, it seems to me that, you know, we just been working nonstop, and it's like, you know, there's nothing coming out of it. So he was telling her, you need to talk to Cookie about this because I can't take no much more of this. And he says that, and you need to stand up to Cookie because after all, Cookie's always treating you like shit. So this definitely gets her wheels turning. So then we actually see that Cookie and the family meet up with Hakeem. They pretty much told him that, fool, what the hell you doing over there? You trying to get your ass arrested? We trying to work on an appeal, you know, on your case to get back Bella, and here you go about to ruin it, being up, and you about to ruin it up there spying on it and shit. He's like, look, I was just looking out for Bella and all this shit. She's like, boy, if you don't stop with your bullshit, because she said that first of all, this wouldn't have happened if you wasn't sitting up there running off your mouth to the enemy. I mean, he was saying that, look, all I did was just told her the truth about my dysfunctional family. And Cookie's like, if you don't watch your tone, boy, Bella ain't going to have a damn father to come home to. So pretty much, you know, Lucious says, pretty much they said, so what are we going to do? Pretty much, Cookie said, Lucious says he's going to handle it. And they all like, what? Because they all know that Lucious is not fully back. But she said that, hey, he says he's going to handle it. He's going to handle it. Next thing you know, we see that Lucious knocks on Anika's door. And at first, she was like, I want to talk to you, and, can I please come in? She's trying to shut the door on him. He literally, he literally stops the door and barges in. And he said, I said, may I come in, please? So, he is not playing no games with her. So but if anything, you could tell Anika is scared shitless because you know how Lucious normally comes. When you really do some real foul shit, Lucious is ready to tear your head off. But that's not what he did, though. I mean, pretty much she's like, well, whatever you got to say, you need to hurry up because Angela will be back any minute. So it's from the looks of things, her and Angela were screwing each other. So so her and Angela then became a couple and all of that shit. So now he's pretty much saying that, I don't know if you know, but I lost my memory in the accident. She's like, well, knowing you, Lucious, whatever happened, that was a no accident. So pretty much she said that, well, one thing I definitely do remember, Anika, is that you said that you wanted Bella to be the heir to the throne. Well, I'm here to let you know I hold that promise that I will make her the heir to the throne if you give Hakeem joint custody of Bella. She will be an heir to the throne along with my sons. And she was like, okay. And she's saying that, one thing I definitely want to do is that we should definitely, have a family visit. He wants to see Bella, and we all want to see Bella. And she's like, okay, fine. We'll do a family visit somewhere public, out in the open. So he agrees to it, and they're going about, and pretty much Lucious leaves. So then we see Portia tries to tell Cookie that the engineers are going off. Cookie immediately blows Portia off because Lucious has stepped in, and he's there to update her about his meeting with Anika. And then pretty much, and pretty much, they pretty much talk about, the company and everything like that. And, Lucious was like, I got your back, Cookie. And she's like, oh, you do? He's like, yeah, I've always had your back. And she reminds him, you have not always had my back, Lucious. And then we get a flashback when she's in prison, her girl gets gets a picture of her nephew. Cookie gets something from the mail, and it's divorce papers from Lucious. So, and he said that, yeah, I know I've done some bad things in the past, but I promise that from the future, I'm going to make things right with us. So if anything, we actually see that going on, and then we also see that, Eddie is still, in the midst of things, as being like, in his title as being like the head of the empire. Because pretty much that's what Eddie's doing. Eddie is pretty much acting as Lucious, and pretty much trying to act on Cookie's behalf as well. So we got all that going on. And, all of a sudden Lucious get up like, you look real good, you look real comfortable being up in my chair, Cookie. So yeah, we're starting to see that, yeah, Lucious is starting to get his memory back, but it's a process. So then we get a scene with Warren and Jamal. They up turning up. They even got Hakeem's girl, the lesbian chick that hangs out with Hakeem. She's like, yo, Jamal, thank you for inviting me out because Hakeem would never take me to a place like this. Yes, God! I mean, she up there turning up, having a good time. They at this gay club, and then all of a sudden, Warren, we're starting to see all the stuff that Angelo says about Warren is true. That, yeah, Warren is a hoe. Because next thing you know, Warren starts looking at this white boy. Then he starts looking at these dudes, and he's saying that you looking. And then all of a sudden, Jamal notices. He's like, "You looking awfully hard, ain't you?" He's like, "Well, you noticed them too." He's like, "Yeah, but I ain't like staring them down like you are. What's good?" He said that, yo, you ever thought of bringing in a third party, having a threesome? And he's like, nah, threesomes ain't my style, man. That ain't how I get down. He's like, come on, man. It's something you've never done before. It's something I've never done before. We should try it. We should actually, we should test the waters and see how it goes. So we pretty much see that Jamal pretty much actually goes along with this. And then, but he said that we ain't getting one of these little pale white boys up in here. You definitely need to find somebody else. So he finds this fine ass dude. And I was looking at him, I'm like, this boy is gorgeous. And Jamal wasn't feeling it. Because all of a sudden we see that, Warren is really into it. Like he's ready to do this. And Jamal pretty much says, and he pretty much sees that Jamal is not for it or whatever. And, Warren goes to him, he's like, yo, what's going on? I thought you said you want to do this. He said, no, you wanted to do this. And the only reason why I agreed is because I love you. But look, I'm not ready to cross this line. I don't want to, this is not for me. And the only reason why I said yes is because I saw you wanted to do it. But I don't want this. And the only reason why I said yes is because I love you. So what Warren does, he goes to old boy, pretty boy. He's like, we're not going to do this. He's like, what, is something wrong? He's like, well, look, you see that guy over there? I'm in love with him. And this is making him uncomfortable, and he doesn't want to do this. So I apologize for bringing you here and everything. I know we was going to have a good time, but, obviously, but sorry, it's not going to happen. So he pretty much excuses the guy, but then he literally tells Jamal, I love you. He's like, I love you too. He's like, no, I need you to know that I love you. And no matter what happens, or no matter what we may face, just know that I really do love you. And I was like, damn. So he really is in love with Jamal. And I was like, something was telling me, even way back then, that even though I knew he was a plant by the Dubois, he was going to actually fall for Jamal, and that's exactly what happened. And even Angelo's old smug ass even pointed it out too. So now it's obvious Warren is in love with Jamal. So then we get a scene with Andre. Andre is literally going crazy because he hasn't seen Pamela in a minute. He's called her 100 times, left 100 messages, and he hasn't heard back from her. So he's like going panic, like, we should get together and go to dinner, my treat, and all this shit. I'm like, he is totally obsessed with that girl that he is not even focused on what he needs to do as far as his job at Empire. Because the next thing you know, we see that he goes to Empire, and he actually sees on the screen that supposedly, Pamela got shot, and they said that she was dead or whatever. And all of a sudden, Portia comes to Andre like, look, I really need you, Andre. Like, the engineers are going crazy, and it's about to be some shit. But he blows her off and says, I gotta go. And he runs off. Before he even gets to the damn elevator, he even left the damn building. Because all he can focus on is Pamela. And then we just see that this just definitely sets Portia off again, because here it is, she's trying to voice what's going on with the engineers, and that, they're getting tired of editing, they're getting tired of all these long hours and all of this stress, and, no one's listening to her. So then, we pretty much see that, we get a scene, like, afterwards, we see that they're in the hallway of Empire. Damn, Calvin then made a sign that they about to go on strike and shit, and he literally put it outside. They have a crowd outside, and they don't actually have the crowd yet, but they have already done worked, and, they definitely worked with everybody and got everybody on their team as far as all the workers, that Empire's not treating us right, and we're going to go on strike. So, Eddie pretty much says that, look, this 20 for 20 is serious business, and quite frankly, you're totally taking this overboard. And then Calvin's like, no, you're taking this overboard. You're taking us for granted. You're not respecting us. And quite frankly, I'm not going to continue to work like this. So, so either we stop, so pretty much he says that, look, I'm through with this shit, we're going on strike. And Eddie pretty much says that if you go on strike, it'll be the worst thing you ever did to yourself, because we're not backing down. We have an agenda, we're going to fulfill this agenda with or without you, and all this shit. And then we see Cookie shows up. And pretty much he says that, yeah, I got everything set. And then pretty much Calvin's like, yeah, I got everything set up. I got an email right here. And I have it directed to every personnel in this building. All I have to do is launch this, and everybody will go on strike. And we will literally shut this place down. We're no longer going to be, we're no longer going to let you put your foot on us and use and abuse us anymore. So Eddie took the damn phone and was like, okay, I said it. Here you go. So, go on your damn strike. But I guarantee you, you're not going to win at the end of the day. So pretty much he's about to walk off, and then all of a sudden, Portia is about to go back to Cookie, and like, all of a sudden Calvin's like, Portia, we talked about this. And then all of a sudden, Cookie's kind of looking like, and then we see Portia's about to go walk to Calvin. She's like, oh, so that's what it is? Oh, your man tell you to jump and you say how high? This set Portia off. She's like, you know what, Cookie? I get up every motherfucking day at 4:30 a.m. and I don't go to bed until after you go to sleep, and I deal with all of your put downs and all of your cut ups, calling me stupid and all that. But I'm thinking, maybe I am stupid because I'm here putting my life on the line for you, and you don't give a damn about me. You know what? Fuck this. Strike! And Portia ends up leading the damn strike. So Portia leads the strike. Then we get a scene where Lucious is about to work with some musicians because he's trying to lay down some music. Next thing you know, all these musicians get the email, strike starts now, and then every musician got up and walked out. And then, when Portia initiated the strike in the hallway, all the employees that was there, they all left with them. So, and then, I'm sorry, I missed that part. But then when we saw in Lucious' session, all the musicians dropped up and left. She says that, and the one in Lucious like, look, I'm sorry, Lucious, but we're going on strike. And then, we see that him and Eddie have a moment, and he's saying that, look, I think it's really interesting how you're using paint to make music. The only artist that really used paint as well as music equally was Miles Davis. And he says that, yeah, you really got something. But then he's like, man, we need to do something because I don't have no musicians. How am I going to lay down music if I don't have, my team? Eddie was like, look, the Lucious Lion I know didn't need a team. He only had him, his piano, and his thoughts, and he made an empire. And if you're looking for a team in order for you to do what you do best, then you're not the real Lucious Lion yet. And then we see Lucious starting to play the music, and he's starting to get all the memory back. We see him with Frida Gatz. We see him, handling business at Empire. So his memory is starting to come back slowly but surely. Alright, so we got that. Alright, so therefore, then right outside of Empire, we see Portia got the mic. She's leading the strike. They pretty much, are going crazy. Then we see Cookie comes out and she sees all this go on. Then we see Shine come out and she says, Shine, what's going on? Like, what, you trying to stop this? She said, nah, I ain't stopping shit. I'm about to join them. Shoot, I'm about to join the working people. I feel that. And she's like, but Shine, you got 25% of this company. What are you doing? He's like, yeah. And my mama used to work at cafeteria, so my heart goes out to the union. And he's saying that, look, I got union blood on me, because he says I'm rolling with the 99%. So it is what it is. And she's like, union, she saw some union blood. You got some dumb blood up in you. That's your problem. I'm like, Cookie's a mess. So then we pretty much see that another person that's joined the strike is Tori. Tori gets out there and she says, I've been in there singing for hours and hours in, and, I'm not singing for Empire. I'm going to sing for the people. And Tori starts singing the song that they were working on. And this really sets Cookie off. She's like, oh my God. There's literally a strike going on, and literally the actual Empire can't function because she has no employees. So we see that Cookie and Eddie talk, and Eddie's like, look, I can pretty much get a team of people to come up in here and do what we, and to kind of hold things down. But then Cookie's like, no, we ain't bringing in no new people up in here. What you saying? He's like, look, we need to keep the thing going. They're out here, trying to weather you and trying to break you down. We're going to show that we're not going to be broken no matter what they do. We're going to bring people in and we're going to keep this train moving. And she was saying that, come on, like, we're like family. She's like, yes, but those employees are like my family as well. And we get a flashback, when she's in prison and, she pretty much she just got her divorce from Lucious and she's down. The girls made her like a little cake or whatever. And she's like, well, she's like, girls, I'm not really feeling it. She's like, girl, please, you get rid of the fucking asshole. Fuck him. I mean, if he ain't gonna fucking ride or die with you, you don't need his ass. It's okay, girl, we got you. We got your back. And then motherfucking Pound Cake come up in there talking shit. Oh yeah, I saw Lucious on TV with a bitch and everything. He ain't even thinking about your smug ass. And she starts talking shit or whatever. Is about to go and try to put her hand in her cake. And Cookie was about to kick her in her, in her private area. And she covers herself up and she's like, oh my God, are you pregnant? And she's like, mind your business, bitch. So it's like, how the hell is she pregnant and she in prison? So we saw all that go on. So that flashback part of brought something to Cookie when she's like, you know what? I realize that usually when men try to run everything, they usually fuck things up. This situation calls for a real intervention. So get all of them to come into the conference room. We're going to sit down and have a discussion, and we're going to get to the bottom of this because these are our family. We have held them down, and now it's time for us to really, come to an agreement where we can all work together again. So we actually get them in the conference room. Lucious comes in there, and he's saying, they said that we know that Lucious has been, battling, his brain injury, but he's recuperating. So she asks him, "Do you know these people?" And he starts pointing people out. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's Kayla, that's Jared, and that's Jacob." And he just starts naming all the people or whatever. And she's pretty much talking about that. Look, I know at the end of the day, we're supposed to be a family, but sometimes families fight. But then there's times where we just have to come through and be there for each other no matter what. So then we get a flashback, Cookie's hanging out with her girls, in jail, and then all of a sudden we see that damn Pound Cake comes in there and she's in pain and she's experiencing serious labor pains, and Cookie's like, "Oh my God, we need to help her. Like, we need to take her to the infirmary." She's like, "Oh no, I can't go to the infirmary." Yeah, and she's like, "You mean to tell me your ass got knocked up in here by a guard?" What? So, but then Cookie's like, "Come on, I got you." And the girl's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You don't even like this bitch." She's like, "It doesn't matter. She needs our help. Come on, we got you. Come on." At the end of the day, we women, and we the only family we got. We got to rock with each other. Even though I don't like you, I'm going to look out for you. And we see that her and Pound Cake have a heart-to-heart, and she talks to her about, being a mother and all that. And she talks about when she was pregnant with Andre. And then, at one point, Cookie was also, Lucious like, "So she became your friend?" And Cookie's like, "Hell no, she didn't become my friend." But at that moment, at the end of the day, we were family. We were all in there together. And we had to help each other. So we see Cookie sitting there talking to her. She talks about when Andre was born. It was a really bad snowstorm, and Lucious had this real beat up car. And this is around the time Lucious was starting to really work on music. And pretty much Lucious' car broke down. He didn't even get that far. But then she said this white Lincoln came, kind of like the white chariot, kind of like, the Lord intervening. And it turns out the guy that was driving the car was a fan of Lucious. He just saw him at a show and was literally playing Lucious' music in the car. He pretty much took him and Cookie to the hospital, and that's when she had Andre. And while she's having this conversation, she looks up and you see the actual guard that knocked her up walk by. So I'm like, oh shit, that is messed up. Because now this girl is pregnant with a guard's baby, and she can't even go to the infirmary and get care because she's protecting his job. But then she pretty much actually puts it out that, look, we need to come together as a family, because then she pretty much said that, then she started saying that, look, we have always been there for you all. And she says that, look, when you had the death in your, and she talked to Jared, when you had that death in your family, who sent you home with 3 weeks pay? She said, and he said, you. And then he said, Kayla, when you was having those voice problems, what did we do? He said that you paid for me to go to rehab. And then she says, okay, Jordan, who helped you, to pay for your tuition for college? So they're saying that, look, we are there for you. We have always been there for you. And then she said that, look, and then she says, Portia, I know I call you stupid a lot, but it's just the way I talk. But you're very intelligent, because if you weren't intelligent, you wouldn't have a job. So that gets Portia on the brain. So she's saying, could you please end this strike and get your man together? And then she's saying, like, so what do you think, Calvin? And then Calvin's like, can you trust her? And she's like, yeah, we're going to end the strike. So the strike is ended. So I'm like, Cookie stepped up and actually handled business. So Cookie is showing time and time again she can run that empire. And that when it comes to crunch time, when it comes to hard situations, she will get it together. Because she had to check Eddie, what is your position again? That I'm a special advisor to the CEO. She's like, okay, so your job is to advise me, not to outthink or overrule me. So we kind of see that made Eddie feel some kind of way. So we're going to see what's going to happen with Eddie moving forward. So then we actually see that Portia and Cookie go right back to Cookie talking shit to her, and Portia's happy because she's like, "Thank you." She's like, and she tried to hug Cookie. She's like, don't touch me. I don't want you putting your hands on me, bitch. Like, no, fix my phone. It's broken. Now get the hell out of here and get some work done. And we see that Portia's happy because she's back to her old job, but yet Cookie actually has more respect for her, and she actually tells her thank you. So the dynamic has shifted a little bit. Then we actually see Andre gets a visit from damn Pamela. Pamela drops and he's like kind of upset, like, yo, I've been calling you, I thought you were dead, and then all of a sudden you just show up here saying you want to go to dinner and you hungry. What the hell is going on? She lets him know that, look, I was in a shootout, the guy shot at me, I shot at him, and at the end of the day it was either going to be me or him, and the one going to be me, so I killed his ass. But the thing is, I planted the gun to make him seem like he was armed, but he wasn't. So really, I literally could ruin my whole career by telling you this. So that's letting you know right there that I do trust you, because I just told you that I broke the law. So that makes them close, and then they in bed rolling around together. But then he gets a text that they need a family meeting because they're gonna go see Bella. So we see all that go on. So we pretty much see all this go on. The family's together and shit. They think they're about to go see Bella. Andre's talking about his new love life, and Jamal's joking, oh yeah, I see you, bruh. I see something going on with you. I can see it in your eyes. Yeah, something going on. And then all of a sudden, Jamal starts talking about Warren, saying, oh yeah, me and Warren are getting close. Yeah, I really think he's the one for me. And Cookie, definitely being a mother, is like, I don't know, Jamal, you kind of moving too fast. She's like, but Mom, I just know he's the one for me. I just know he's that one that's gonna I just know that he's that special one. And I'm like, oh shit. And like Cookie's like, well, I think you need to kind of like hold your break. She's like, but come on, Mom, you just be happy for me. Dad like him. He's like, yeah, Warren's a good man. I'm really fond of him. He's like, yeah. So it's like, hey, everything's cool. Warren, Joe, just get used to it. Warren's about to be a part of the family. So then we actually get a scene with Diane and Warren. And pretty much Warren is kind of letting her know that, look, I'm not really feeling this no more. I know you wanted me to set up Jamal with that threesome, but he didn't go for it. And she's like, well, let me guess. You done fell in love with him, didn't you? And she's like, yeah. The thing is, I really am in love with Jamal. She's like, I don't know what it is about these damn lions, but somehow they just get a hook, and somehow they just have this mystique about them that people fall for. And and he was saying that, look, I didn't mean for this to happen. And she's like, well, I knew it was gonna happen. He's like, excuse me? He's like, yeah, I knew he was gonna fall in love with him. Oh yeah, and trip this. Next, we see the whole family coming into the restaurant thinking they're gonna meet, Anika and Bella. No, it was a damn setup. They were actually there. It turns out they were actually there to see Warren with Diane. And immediately Jamal was like, what the hell is going on, Warren? Why the hell are you sitting over here with her? He's like, Jamal, it's not what it looks like. Well, she says, well, the thing is, I was just telling my grandson, about, and she's saying, so you mean to tell me this is a damn setup? She's like, oh yes, it's a setup, because actually my grandson, was actually just talking about you. And he all of a sudden Jamal was like, he's like, I'm sorry, Jamal, I really am, but I really am in love with you and all of this. And next thing you know, we see Jamal blacks out and he begins to beat the living shit out of Warren. And everybody taking out their camera phones and everything, and he flipped the fuck out, and he was like, yeah, take the damn pictures, you bitch ass motherfucker. Like, and he was flipping out. They literally had to pull Jamal out of there, and it literally took all of them to pull Jamal up, because Jamal was beating Warren down. And literally Diana set him up to get his ass beat, and Diana was just sitting there. And then all of a sudden, after all that happened, you know, pretty much Lucious kind of gave her this evil look and walked away, and then all of a sudden Cookie's like, "We coming for you, bitch." I was like, damn, and then all of a sudden she's sitting there looking at Warren beat up. She's like, "See?" I was like, this evil bitch. Oh my God, they need to fuck Diane up. Because she has planted so much crap. Now everything exploded. Now she done took down, now, you know, Hakeem's situation got blown up, and now Jamal's. Now he realizes that Warren wasn't who he thought he was, and he said that he was eventually going to tell him. But you didn't, because Diane ended up throwing you to the wolves before you could even say anything. So we saw that go on, and then all of a sudden, you know, Cookie and Lucious are going to the car, and he said that, you know, I really wanted to beat the living shit out of him, and I wanted to, you know, beat him to death with my prosthetic leg. And she says, that's interesting, Lucious, because the old Lucious, that's exactly what he would have done. And then we see Lucious get these flashbacks of him beating people's asses and shit. So pretty much that was pretty much the end of the episode. So if I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd like to hear from you. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on my other social platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and I also have a GoFundMe. Check out that link as well. Also, like this video, comment this video, and share this video, and I'll be back with the next episode of Empire. And I think we got one more episode before the finale. So until then, everybody, take care.